Welcome to the Hard Faith Podcast. I'm your host, Spencer Fulmar, the founder of Hard Faith. I've been working in the film and television industry for over 16 years. On Hard Faith, we're about asking difficult questions about life and faith in an R-rated world. And today I have my lovely bride and teammate, McKenna. McKenna, thank you for joining us on the Hard Faith Podcast.
You're welcome.
It's been a long gap since the last episode of the Hard Faith Podcast. It has been just about 9 months. And now it is season 2. Season 1 is over, and we're beginning with season 2. And we're excited for the lineup of new guests that we have coming on the show. In fact, there's going to be another episode right after this with Benjamin Ironside Coppin and his new theatrical release, Pastor's Kid. So our next interview is going to be with him. But today we're going to catch you up on everything that's been happening this last 9 months. It has been so very busy. McKenna, let's start off with the biggest life update and development. What happened 6.5 months ago?
We had our very first child. What a great end of the year that was for us. It was so magical. It's so wonderful not to be pregnant anymore. But it was so great to meet our baby for the first time. Margaret is here, happy, healthy, beautiful, perfect. She's over 7 pounds since she was born, a wee little thing. She is precious. She's about to start crawling. So she's keeping us very busy. But it kind of also feels like life has settled now that we're all in the groove together.
Yes.
Big adjustment.
Yes, huge adjustment. Our baby girl was born on August 26th, little Margaret, and she is precious.
So precious.
So we're very thankful for that, and that was a big adjustment. And you'd think we'd slow down, but we didn't.
No.
Even before that, if I want to catch you up even more, we were talking about, I think on the last podcast episode, the need for hard faith. All of faith is hard faith. And the upcoming Hard Faith Film Festival.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
That was a great success.
It was. That was the first annual exclusively Hard Faith Film Festival. And it was at the Cine Lounge on Sunset last July in 2023. And throughout the day, we had over 100 attendees, and the theater only held 70 seats. So it was a standing room only by the end of the day.
It was wonderful. So many nice people came out and met so many wonderful Christians here in Hollywood and in California and countrywide. We had people here from all over the United States, which was amazing. We were sponsored by Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A provided us a wonderful meal. Also, the Hollywood Presbyterian Library gave us some cookie and refreshments.
And
Coffee, which was so needed.
Everyone needs coffee.
And then Hollywood Prayer Network was one of our event sponsors, as well as Reimagined Church and Greenhouse Arts and Entertainment with Shun Lee. So it was a really great event. I was nervous, to be honest.
Here we were. And we were like, okay.
We're like, if you build it, they will come, right, Lord? And they did. So I was really thankful for that. In fact, it went so well that we have our second annual Hard Faith Film Festival coming out July 19th and 20th, right back here in Hollywood, California, 2024. And it's going to be a 2-day event because we had a 1-day event and we weren't able to show all the first, second, and third place winners.
I mean, we had it packed. It was a full day. It was a 5-minute by 5-minute playbook timeline that we were going. I think we only got 2 breaks from the whole day.
Yeah.
It was so
relentless. But great, but relentless. And we have so many great submissions. We have 7 different categories. In fact, if you still want to submit, you can go to filmfreeway.com/hardfaith, and you can still submit. The last deadline is May 1st, so there is time. Not a lot of time, but there's time. The 7 different categories are episodic, feature, documentary, short film, experimental, screenplay, and student film. So many great categories and so many great submissions. So please submit. There's still time. We've gotten double the submissions of last year, and we don't know exactly which venue we're going to use. We are calling around theaters in Hollywood, but we will announce that soon on an upcoming podcast.
Something I loved so much about the film festival was that not only we got to meet everyone, but also I just loved standing back and watching everyone else meet each other. I think it was so encouraging for people and such a communicative experience. And I think it really encouraged a lot of people, and it was just so fun to see, people we knew make friends with each other, but also filmmakers who didn't know anyone make friends with other people and talk about their art and their craft, and it was very special. So I can't wait for this year.
It really was very special. It was a blessed event.
Yeah.
So that happened in July of last year. I think our last podcast was in June. We also went to set whenever McKenna was 6 months pregnant, and we filmed the movie Bright Sky in Colorado.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
So beautiful there.
Yes, it was. That film is in its second draft of post-production. The final draft, the final cut of the film is almost done. Then it's going to get scored. This is a faith-based Western with Nathan Clarkson, who was on last season, I think our second guest. And it's a really beautiful film. Great cast, great performances, great Western. And I don't know when it's going to come out. It'll depend on who we sell it to, but it is forthcoming. And so that will be a new Hard Faith feature film coming out soon in collaboration with Clarkson Creations. And then, ever since Christmas in July, which we take very seriously here.
We take it very seriously here. We're already prepping our holiday decorations already.
Yeah, we go all out. We decorate the whole apartment, put up stockings, give a couple gifts.
The Christmas deal.
We love Christmas. And on that note, a project I've been working on for over 7 years is Saint Nick, inspired by the real-life story of Alan Smith. This is a screenplay that I told McKenna about on our first date.
On Christmas Eve.
Yeah, at Cracker Barrel. I told her I'm working on a Christmas movie, and that was more than 4 years ago. And finally, that Christmas movie got into production. I collaborated and teamed up with the actor, writer, producer, director Daniel Roebuck. You'll recognize Danny from The Munsters on Netflix. He plays Grandpa. From Matlock back in the day with Andy Griffith. He has been in over 300, 400 shows and television, as well as feature films. And he's also an independent filmmaker himself. In fact, a film festival I did long ago, he submitted a faith-based film called Getting Grace that he filmed in Pennsylvania because he is from the Lehigh Valley in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And so whenever Danny came on board, we actually saw Danny
Christmas tree shopping
at Lowe's in Burbank whenever we first moved back to Los Angeles. And I said to McKenna, wouldn't Danny Roebuck make the best Santa Claus?
He is Santa. I remember seeing him on set in his Santa suit, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Santa. I had a moment. I was like, Santa. It was Margaret's first Santa picture. So
yeah, and he is the living person, Santa, as is Alan Smith, who is based on. But so we filmed half that movie right before Thanksgiving. We filmed 45 pages in 8 days. It was a relentless schedule, but it went so well. We had a great cast, great location. The full title is Saint Nick of Bethlehem in Christmas City, USA. Daniel did a great rewrite on my script. We're co-directing it together. Great team of producers with the Scatter brothers and Tammy, Danny's wife. And we're really excited to get this film finished. In fact, we're going back to Bethlehem in April next month, and we're going to finish the film. Thankfully, back, in Christmas season, we got all that Christmas magic in a bottle. Yeah, tell me about some of the scenes in Hotel B and downtown filming. What was that like? That was your first, big set.
That's true. It was my first big set. It was my first time in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which we just loved. It was such a charming town. They had the Star of Bethlehem on the sidewalks and lit up. It was just magical. It felt like a Christmas city come to life, and it wasn't a set. It was a real town, and so it was wild and so perfect, and everyone was so kind to us. One of the last scenes of the film you shot, and hundreds of talented people came out to be in the movie, and it was so magical. I just loved every second of it. I'm so grateful for everyone and all their kindness there. It was just a wonderful experience. It
was great. I mean, we had 300 or 400 extras come out. We filmed at different locations.
Freezing temperatures in the middle of the night for a day. It was so cold.
It was very cold. Great extras, great crew. And we're really excited to finish that movie. You can even see a proof of concept sizzle trailer on our Hard Faith channels. And it's just really coming together. We hope it's going to be a new holiday classic Christmas movie.
It's amazing.
Other things, I told you about the book, Hard Faith Beginning. I'm going to have a second edition of that book coming out that has some expanded memories from New Zealand, as well as some grammatical and spelling corrections, as well as a new listing on Amazon because we're trying to get the price point right on the paperback and the hardback and color.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
It's going to be perfected.
Yes, by Easter, which is coming up so soon. I also have a new book called The Need for Hard Faith. I was invited by Orlando Camille to do a workshop for Content Christian Festival in Texas. And so at the Capernaum Studios, they have this Christian film festival. It's called Content. And I did a workshop, my first ever workshop on hard faith. And through kind of articulating what I wanted to say to this group of filmmakers about the need for hard faith, I have a new book called The Need for Hard Faith. And that will also be coming out later this year. Hopefully Easter, but it's so soon. We shall see if I hit that deadline. I've done it before. I'm hopeful. I also have another book coming out later this year, probably in the fall, about directing feature films, in my own experience, directing 8 feature films, and what I've learned along the way and what I can pass on to future directors. What else?
What else?
That mostly catches you up,
I think so.
right?
Bright Sky's coming out. Watch for Bright Sky. Watch for St. Nick of Bethlehem. You filmed a doc last year.
Oh,
real life Santa.
Gracious, yes. And so we filmed 3 movies last year.
It was a very busy.
Oh my gosh, yes. And so another documentary that we filmed, it won't be coming out this Christmas, but likely Christmas of 2025, is Sad Santa and the Healing Power of Giving, which is about the real life figure of St. Nick, Alan Smith, back in my hometown of Central Pennsylvania. We filmed over 30 interviews about Alan Smith, about his impact as playing Santa Claus in our community. And it's a really touching story and in my first, I think, proper documentary. There'll be more hard faith documentaries. We have one on death. We have another one about corruption in the church. And so we're going to have a slate of new documentary films, and this is the first of it, Sad Santa, coming out Christmas 2025.
And how special that was to film. And everyone involved in that documentary, everyone we met, it was truly incredible. Alan Smith has such a story, and he has touched so many people, and he is truly inspiring, him and Gina. I just was in awe of them, and everyone we met, that you interviewed, that we filmed, just incredible, wonderful people.
Absolutely. And then also we have some short films coming up. One is called Hope/Death, and that is an original story written by Hannah Barefoot. We filmed this in August of 22. So my bad, it's been in post-production a long time. It also features my cousin Dax Spanable, which you'll recognize from Generational Sins, our first hard faith feature film. And it is a suicide prevention film, very important. We're gonna have more films in this space, feature films coming up, but we're excited to release that movie later this year, maybe even a preview at the Hard Faith Film Festival, if I can finish post-production. And I think that's everything. I think we're caught up in these last 6 months, right?
Yeah. A busy season.
It's a busy season. You can hear Margaret in the background.
She likes.
She does. Yes. Well, we're excited for the second season. Like I said, we have Ben Coppin for Pastor's Kid and his theatrical release film, which is like a hard faith movie. So I'm really excited for you guys to watch that. We also have one of our top prize winners of the Hard Faith Film Festival, who did this incredible short film called Cohabitation, which we'll be making available exclusively on Hard Faith website, hardfaith.com. David from Moldova, he made this really moving, powerful short film.
Oh, it was so good. I remember that short film.
I know.
Incredible.
And so, you know, we're just excited about this new year. We're excited about 2024. We're excited about the second season of the Hard Faith podcast. There will be more episodes than last season.
It's better than nothing.
And it's better than nothing. We so appreciate all the support, all the love, all the prayers, all the subscribers and likes and sharing of this podcast. And also there's going to be a new Hard Faith newsletter. We have so many things coming out. Even another thing is that we re-released the short film, animated short film, Great Surgeon, this past Halloween. Mm-hmm. And now that's making the festival circuit. You can watch that film in its entirety. It's 14 minutes long on Hard Faith Vimeo channel, as well as its YouTube channel. So we're doing more things than we can tell you about or remember to tell you about.
Things we can't tell you
and some things that we can't tell you about. But we're really excited. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following us. Go to hardfaith.com, subscribe, share this podcast. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We're not very active on X, but maybe we should be. And just thank you for following along this journey. Go ahead.
I was going to say happy 2024.
Happy 2024.
Yeah.
I've been doing Hard Faith now for over 10 years, and I think it is a needed ministry. It's an important ministry, and the more I talk about it, the more people say, I wish there was more art like this. I wish there was more Christians talking about this. So we're going to try and keep talking about it.
It's just so encouraging to hear all the people that it's touched and helped. And it's such a space in the Christian community that is just not talked about and touched on, and people are too afraid. And so thank you for being encouraging. Thank you for following along. We hope that you're encouraged and that you encourage us.
Thanks so much for listening to this edition of the Hard Faith Podcast. Please subscribe and share this podcast. Visit hardfaith.com to learn more.